Ecclesiastes chapter 8, Living Wisely Under Authority and Uncertain Justice. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 continues the book's reflection on wisdom, human limitation, and the often confusing realities of life in a world that does not always appear fair. It moves between practical instruction and deep philosophical observation, focusing especially on authority, justice, and the hidden timing of God's purposes. The chapter begins with a strong emphasis on wisdom and its effect on a person's life. Wisdom is described as something that brings clarity and even changes a person's outward demeanor, giving them a kind of calm confidence. From there, the discussion turns to authority, particularly the relationship between individuals and governing rulers. The writer encourages careful and respectful conduct in the presence of authority, emphasizing that obedience to lawful rule is generally part of living wisely. This respect is not merely social or political, but ultimately connected to reverence for God, who stands above all human institutions. At the same time, there is an implied boundary. When human authority directly conflicts with divine command, loyalty to God takes precedence. The chapter then shifts to the broader theme of timing and human limitation. It is observed that every matter in life has a proper time and outcome, but human beings do not possess the ability to fully control or predict these times. Even fundamental aspects of life, such as the moment of death, lie beyond human power. This highlights a central truth: while people can make plans and exercise wisdom, ultimate control belongs to God. The appropriate response to this limitation is trust, even when circumstances are unclear or outcomes are uncertain. A major concern of the chapter is the delay of justice in the world. The writer observes that wrongdoing is not always immediately punished, and that in some cases, evil appears to go unrestrained for long periods. This delay can lead people to become more confident in wrongdoing, mistakenly believing that there will be no consequences. However, the chapter firmly rejects this conclusion. It affirms that those who revere God will ultimately experience what is right and good, while persistent wickedness will not go unaddressed. The apparent delay of justice should not be misunderstood as absence of justice, but rather as a temporary condition within a larger and more complete moral order. Closely related to this is the recognition that life often appears unfair. The writer acknowledges situations where righteous people suffer while those who act unjustly seem to prosper. This tension is presented honestly, without denial or easy explanation. It challenges simplistic assumptions that moral behavior always leads to immediate reward or that wrongdoing always brings immediate consequences. Instead, it reflects the reality of living in a world where justice is not always fully visible in the present moment. This creates a sense of unresolved tension that points beyond immediate experience. In response to this complexity, the writer returns to a theme found throughout the book: the value of receiving life as it is given. Despite the presence of injustice and confusion, there is still encouragement to find joy in daily life. Eating, drinking, and engaging in ordinary activities are presented as meaningful when received with gratitude. This perspective does not deny the existence of problems in the world, but it recognizes that life itself remains a gift, even within an imperfect and unpredictable environment. The chapter concludes with a humble acknowledgement of human limitation in understanding divine activity. No matter how much wisdom a person may have, they cannot fully grasp everything that occurs within the scope of God's work. There are aspects of existence that remain beyond human comprehension. This realization leads not to despair, but to humility. It suggests that trust must often replace full understanding, and that faith involves accepting the limits of human perspective. Taken together, Ecclesiastes chapter 8 presents a thoughtful and realistic view of life shaped by wisdom, authority, timing, and justice. It affirms the importance of respectful living, acknowledges the frustration caused by delayed or hidden justice, and recognizes the limits of human understanding. At the same time, it encourages a steady trust in God's overarching control and a willingness to receive life's simple joys. The chapter ultimately calls for a balanced posture of wisdom, one that is aware of injustice, yet not overcome by it, one that recognizes limitation, yet remains grounded in trust and gratitude.
Chapter 8. Who is like a wise man, and who knows the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom makes his face shine, and the sternness of his face is changed. I say, keep the king's commandment for the sake of your oath to God. Do not be hasty to go from his presence. Do not take your stand for an evil thing, for he does whatever pleases him. Where the word of a king is, there is power. And who may say to him, What are you doing? He who keeps his command will experience nothing harmful, and a wise man's heart discerns both time and judgment, because for every matter there is a time and judgment, though the misery of man increases greatly. For he does not know what will happen, so who can tell him when it will occur? No one has power over the Spirit to retain the Spirit, and no one has power in the day of death. There is no release from that war, and wickedness will not deliver those who are given to it. All this I have seen, and applied my heart to every work that is done under the sun. There is a time in which one man rules over another to his own hurt. Then I saw the wicked buried, who had come and gone from the place of holiness, and they were forgotten in the city where they had so done. This also is vanity, because the sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner does evil 100 times, and his days are prolonged, yet I surely know that it will be well with those who fear God, who fear before him. But it will not be well with the wicked, nor will he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he does not fear before God. There is a vanity which occurs on earth, that there are just men to whom it happens according to the work of the wicked. Again, there are wicked men to whom it happens according to the work of the righteous. I said that this also is vanity. So I commended enjoyment, because a man has nothing better under the sun than to eat, drink, and be merry, for this will remain with him in his labor all the days of his life, which God gives him under the sun. When I applied my heart to know wisdom, and to see the business that is done on earth, even though one sees no sleep day or night, then I saw all the work of God, that a man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun. For though a man labors to discover it, yet he will not find it. Moreover, though a wise man attempts to know it, he will not be able to find it.